Alright guys, welcome to today's Raid Shadow Legends video. What did you guys settle with for the tournament? Now, I basically used all the available energy that I had to compete, and this is how far I got so far. Okay, so 1,069 points. I did spend over 1,000 energy though to get there. Okay, so it's a worse average than my typical runs because I have to run level 17. Yeah, so my team couldn't handle it. I tried it, it just really didn't work too well. I think out of the 7 or so tries that I tried on level 20, I failed about 4 times, 3 or 4 times, I forget. So that was enough for me to basically decide that, you know what, I'm not going to do this. Instead, I would rather use go on a stage that is more certain, and this so far has been 100% success rate. So let's jump right in, see a run, see what's going on, and basically I'll explain to you guys why it's not working on level 20. Alright, so we've got the Apothecary right now, who's a little bit slow. See how the War Maiden went first, although it doesn't really change much. For the basically level 20, I think they should all be above 200 speed. Okay, so I've got the Bellower, which is pretty slow, probably about 165-ish, as well as low defense. But I do have him with low HP, the lowest of the 3. So if I start getting hit, it's typically the Bellower that's going to go first, which is what you want, right? He's just there for CC and some like reduced speed, block cooldowns, and with the stun set, if I get the occasional stun, then great. But it's not enough firepower to clear these waves fast enough. So I end up taking a lot of hits from these guys, the Hordens, right? And they can take out my basically Bellower in a shot or two, okay? So because of that, because like the Cold Hearts are not strong enough, the Cold Heart is not tough enough, right? And he's a little bit slow, then it just doesn't work out. But you can see how well this is working against level 17, which is the same affinity, which is why I'm doing it here right now, because it's a good test overall, right? I can also take a hit or two from the Dragon, but on level 20, when I do 2 hits and like somebody goes down, basically, right? Because the Apothecary cannot maintain all of these champions up at the same time. So it's a problem. The Bellower is also useful with the decreased attack on the Dragon, right? But he's got low accuracy. So on level 20, I've seen this fail a couple of times. But there you have it, okay? And this is what I mean by getting less points, because every once in a while you get a level 4 item, which is only worth 8 points. But you spend 16 energy to get there, which is not a good ratio. When you're doing level 20, you're basically getting either level 5 or level 6 gear. So it's either 16 points or up to I think about 22 points, right? So your average for energy spent is 1.1 per 1 energy spent on level 20, but on anything below, it's typically about 0.9 to maybe 1 if you are really lucky, which means I'm operating at a loss of what I can typically do. But I assume that in this tournament, most people are kind of like in the same boat, right? We're maybe doing level 20, maybe some of them are, maybe not, but you can see that I have a pretty easy group so far, which has allowed me to kind of like, you know, make it this far. Now the question is, will I spend to keep going, right? We have, what, 4 days to complete this, and with the amount of energy that you get over those 4 days, plus the amount of free energy that we just had with this 500 energy, right? I can probably make it to this level right here relatively easy. Now, spending a couple more gems to get the legendary skill tome, probably definitely worth it. But I think this is where I would stop. If my group is not that crazy and I see that I have some kind of hope of getting first place and getting 2 extra books, yeah, I may give it a shot, but I'll judge that as I go. If some of these guys are running this overnight non-stop on like an auto clicker, I probably won't compete with that. I guess I could, but then I don't want to take the risk of like spending 600 energy for a night of farming, wake up in the morning, somebody's still ahead of me, right? All of that's going to be basically lost. So I'll settle for all of these points, or all of these rewards rather, and I'll see, or I'll gauge where I'm at in a couple of days, maybe 1 or 2. And then decide if it's worth it for me to buy more energy with gems and then keep going. Alright, now let's look at the champions, right? In yesterday's video, I presented a bunch of different champions that you could use for this. And I was going to try something out because I didn't think I kind of knew my team would work. I was hoping it would work on 20. Then I saw my group, decided, you know what, I might have a chance at this, so I'm not going to waste too much energy on trying things out. But what I wanted to do for you guys is take out the good old Spirit Host, the Greybeard, the Berserker, the Kale, and the War Maiden. See how far I could get with those 5 champions. I may do it after the tournament, but because I'm doing relatively well right now, I kind of want to really conserve my energy and use it towards getting more points. And since I already lost 3 or 4 runs, right, so that's, a couple of points right there, I kind of want to try and minimize that for now. But let's look at the champions that I am using. So we've got the Bellower in a stun set, I talked about this yesterday. This could be optimized. Like, I don't know why I have so much crit rate here. It really doesn't matter. All you want him to be is really tough, to have enough accuracy, maybe 20 or more or so. I guess I could level this, but I'm not dumping silver into this tournament. That's another thing, right? I don't have a ton of it, and I'm saving up for the next artifact enhancement event to work on the champions that actually do matter for me right now on everyday stuff, like getting this Battle Khazar completed. I was trying to do a Relentless set for my Roto, so I would like to work on that. I think my tournament right here has its banner to do, so that's where my silver is going, not in this tournament. So that's important to know, guys. Like, if you're starting to dump a lot of silver just to try and compete, do a little bit better, I'd say probably not the best thing to do. Instead, hold back, dial it down a level or 2 just so that you can have a fighting chance but not waste your resources. For me, the Bellower was geared, the Cold Hearts were geared, the War Maiden was geared, right? So I didn't have a lot of work to do. My Apothecary is also geared half the time, so it's like all my secondary gear pieces, but it's enough for me to do level 17, so it's perfect. I think I'm going to keep using this. Anyway, let's keep going with the champion build. So like I said, a stun set on the Bellower. I do have a defense chest, all right? I have an attack ring, accuracy banner, and we've got an HP amulet. I would like this to be defense instead. I don't have one. This would also lower the HP just a little bit more, but I made it work with glyphs so that both of my Cold Hearts were just above that amount. Both of these are pretty much the same, okay? The Cold Hearts, I've geared them like this for some time now. One is slightly faster. This is for the Spider Dungeon. The important part is the high HP, higher than my Bellower, like I said. A decent amount of attack, a decent amount of defense. Obviously, crit damage could be higher, but this is all I can do with this kind of like secondary gear, right? Same thing for the second one, slightly slower. Very similar, right? You see it here, like the sets are almost the same, right? I've got speed, crit rate, and attack on both of them. Then we've got the War Maiden. Now she is also used in my new level 20 dragon runs for speed runs, okay? I'm going to present that build a little later, but you can see that she's really fast and I need her to be this fast for what I'm doing, so I'm not going to change her gear. I guess she could be slower, but more speed just doesn't hurt. She's got crit rate gloves, that's right, and she's got an accuracy banner. I could push this up a little bit higher, but 230 for level 20 dungeons is pretty good enough. I could also make her health higher, right? But because she's the strong affinity, she usually doesn't get targeted. So I'm not too worried about that. But I could do that with glyphs and then finishing off the helm. But again, I'm not going to put silver into this. Then we've got the Apothecary in my secondary shield set. Flat HP chest because that's all I had lying around. We do have these HP percent gloves and HP percent boots, okay? I don't get to do this often on my account, but I was able to work out the rest of the speed on the gear, okay, with these boots. We've got a defense ring, defense amulet, then we've got an HP banner for some decent stats overall, right? We just want him for the added survivability, so that is working out just fine. And then we've got, who am I missing? Yeah, that's it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So that's it, guys. That's what I'm using for now. I want to know what you guys are using. Are you even competing in this? Is it a time sink, money sink? Are you spending gems toward this tournament? I don't know if it's worth it yet, but I'd like to say that because I have a relatively easy group right now, I'm kind of tempted to keep pushing to get these rewards right here. And so the last thing to show you guys is the Great Hall, because yes, it does affect the stats overall, right? So obviously my accuracy is all the way up, as well as pretty much almost all the stats for the Void Champion. So this is really affecting my Bellower and my Cold Hearts, all right? Especially the defense, right? Crit damage as well. Then I also got the crit damage now going for the Magic Affinity. So you have to factor that in if you are going to compare your build with my build. Now, the team that I'm using, I've seen used on level 20 in a minute and a half. Okay, so I know it's doable. I know it's doable at a 100% success rate with better gear, better stats overall. I just don't have it yet, right? So I can do about 90-second runs now on the level 17, and when I did succeed on the level 20, it was about 2 minutes and a half. So if anything, I'm still gonna call this a minute and a half build if you have the right stats. But like I said, you know, if you don't, then just dial it down a stage or two and do what you can. Just try and get a couple of extra rewards, but don't go out of your way to try and compete and be the best at this tournament. It's really just, I think, for fun. And like I said before in yesterday's video, kind of a distraction. It really is just a distraction for you guys to, I really believe, spend your resources somewhere else that really matters in the long run. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. As always, let me know what you think in the comments below. I would really appreciate that, and I will catch you guys later.